I think I'll be leaving the band now.
When?
Now.
The Beatles were together as a band for approximately 10 years, from 1960 to 1970. During this relatively short period, they achieved unparalleled success, transformed popular music, and left an indelible mark on the cultural landscape that continues to resonate today. The Beatles' story began in the late 1950s when John Lennon formed a skiffle group called the Quarrymen. Over time, Paul McCartney, George Harrison, Stuart Sutcliffe, and Pete Best joined the band, and they went through various name changes before ultimately settling on the Beatles in 1960. In 1961, the band's lineup underwent changes with Stuart Sutcliffe leaving the group and Ringo Starr replacing Pete Best as the drummer. This change solidified the classic Beatles lineup of John Lennon, Paul McCartney, George Harrison, and Ringo Starr, which remained intact until their eventual breakup in 1970. During their time together, the Beatles experienced an extraordinary ascent to fame. They revolutionized popular music and became a cultural phenomenon. Their innovative songwriting, melodic sensibilities, and boundary-pushing studio experimentation captivated audiences around the world. The Beatles released a string of groundbreaking albums, starting with their debut studio album, Please Please Me, in 1963, followed by With the Beatles, later that same year. They continued to release a series of critically acclaimed and commercially successful albums such as A Hard Day's Night, Rubber Soul, Revolver, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, The White Album, Abbey Road, and Let It Be. Each album showcased the band's musical evolution, creative exploration, and artistic growth. Their live performances were also legendary. The Beatles captivated audiences with their charisma, energy, and infectious enthusiasm. They played historic concerts at iconic venues such as Shea Stadium in New York and the Hollywood Bowl, setting attendance records and causing a frenzy among fans wherever they went. Beyond their musical achievements, the Beatles became synonymous with the cultural and social upheaval of the 1960s. Their long hair, rebellious image, and outspoken views on topics like peace, civil rights, and drug experimentation made them symbols of a changing society. Their impact extended far beyond music, shaping fashion, film, art, and the wider countercultural movement. However, the Beatles' journey was not without its challenges. Over the years, tensions within the group grew, fueled by creative differences, personal conflicts, and the pressures of fame.
It's complicated now, so see if we can get it simpler.
These strains eventually led to their decision to go their separate ways in 1970. The dissolution of the band marked the end of an era in popular music, leaving fans around the world in shock. Despite their relatively short time together as a band, the Beatles' influence has endured, and their legacy remains unparalleled. Their music continues to be celebrated and embraced by new generations, and their impact on subsequent musicians and bands is immeasurable. The Beatles' timeless songs, timeless messages, and timeless spirit have solidified their status as one of the greatest and most beloved musical acts of all time. In conclusion, the Beatles were together as a band for approximately 10 years, from 1960 to 1970. In that relatively short span, they achieved unprecedented success, transformed the music industry, and left an indelible mark on popular culture that continues to inspire and captivate audiences worldwide. Their legacy as innovators, cultural icons, and musical pioneers remains unmatched, ensuring that the Beatles' influence will endure for generations to come.